Minutes from downtown Austin is a new home with amazing upgrades, but what's surprising is the backyard. Stick with me for a great tour. Now this is 1703 Piedmont Avenue right here in Austin, Texas. If you know anything about Austin, from downtown Austin all the way up to the Domain area are these neighborhoods that I would consider Central Austin. If you want to feel like you live in Austin, but you want to get outside of downtown, you want to look at single family homes like this that are over 3,000 square feet. They got 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, have this grand entrance that's open to the second story. Then look at neighborhoods like this. This is Crestview, and it feels like you live in the middle of Austin while still offering new builds that get you what you want on the inside of the home, on the outside with that backyard pool that we'll get to later, while still being walking distance from parks and restaurants that we'll talk about later on in the video. Now I want to give a shout out to the listing agent Adam Zell at Compass, and also want to mention that this home is listed for sale at $1.85 million at the time I'm recording this video, and we're going to walk through it in full detail. Now, so many people tell me they are looking around this central Austin area. They want the vibe of Austin, but they don't want to live in an older home. And the big reason why is because of kitchens like this. On a 2025 build, you can do so many fun things in your kitchen, like take a look at the kitchen island. They wrapped it in a different color, really provides that contrasting color people tell me they want in their kitchen. And then I don't even have all the lights on in here. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to put the toe kick lighting on there, but you'll see that a little bit later on in the video. There's toe kick lighting, there's under cabinet lighting. You got this kitchen island that's massive. It's got tons of veins running through that countertop. And then I like how they did the exterior cabinets as very light and bright. And then above this 6-burner gas stovetop is a backsplash with a small hexagon that goes all the way up to the ceiling and captures all the fun colors that are in this kitchen. Like, notice the kitchen hardware as well as the exterior cabinets and that darker color that's on the kitchen island are all shown in that backsplash. And I love how that backsplash is extended on that cabinetry on the back wall with some freestanding shelves. Don't worry, we'll take a look at that. I'm going to show you everything in full detail. Like I keep saying, these are very detail-oriented videos. So I know I get people that are saying like, hey, you talk way too much through these videos. And I agree with you. We do. And it's not made for you to watch maybe the whole video in full. But if you watch different pieces, what I'm trying to go through here is different things that are offered in Crestview and try to compare that with other options. Because a lot of the other options that are not 2025 builds could be maybe like a renovated home that maybe doesn't have like 10-foot tall ceilings and doesn't have windows everywhere, but might have some updates in it. Or some people just look at older homes and try to fix them up themselves. And my goal is to try to get you as many details as possible to show you all the options that exist around this area. Like, take a look at this cabinetry that's got all these great windows looking out to that pool area. There's still usable backyard space in there. But what I got to go back to is this living room. This is the big factor that people tell me they have to have. They don't want all the rooms separate. They want their dining, living room, kitchen all feeling like it's a part of the same room, and they want as many windows as possible. And notice these sliding glass doors provide a lot of natural light, but what's underrated are the trends of windows that were on either side of that fireplace, and then more windows in the dining room, which we'll get to later. But I have to get out to this outdoor kitchen area. The pool, the trees, everything is amazing. Some people are very surprised that this is possible, being minutes from downtown Austin and minutes from the Domain area. So there's a lot going on in this area. Just to give you a few examples, walking distance from this home, like a 5-minute walk, is the Violet Crown Wine Bar and Coffee Shop. Also, right next to that is Little Deli and Pizzeria. I've never been there, but I'm looking at Google. It's got over 2,300 views on Google, and it's rated 4.8 out of 5, so that's great. I have been to Brentwood Park, which is about a 7 to 10 minute walk from this home. A great park. We actually went to a birthday party there, and it's just a chill spot. There's tennis courts, and there's a basketball court, and there's just a place to kind of walk around. It's a big kids playscape. Point is, though, there are so many things going on in that park, and to have that walkable from this home and still get a backyard like this to do some entertaining or just chill, this is the combination people tell me they want. Hey, real quick, later on in the video, I'm going to get upstairs and we're going to talk about the advantages of being on a two-story plan and having lofts like this and having a little bit of separation between the floors. So stick with me, still a lot to see here. Okay, we're going to get back into the home here and wait until you see the primary bedroom and bathroom. It's actually right around this side, so it still gives a lot of the privacy that people tell me they want to have. And when they're looking around this area, oftentimes there are some older homes that are like your 1950s, 60s, 70s ranch style home. And on a one-story plan, you can take down walls, you can do a remodel, and you can try to open up that space. But what people tell me is there's such built-in privacy on a two-story plan because it's two stories, right? On the first story, you can do a primary bedroom, bathroom down, like we're gonna see in a second. Then you can also put the bedrooms upstairs. You can put a game room up there. And then also what ends up being a compromise on some of these homes is there's no garage. Here we do have a one-car garage, and then there's a separate, what I would call a carport area, but you know, I'm not even sure the names around this area. I am exploring this area just like you are if you're looking around the central Austin neighborhoods, because I really know the suburbs. And in the suburbs, we don't have any of that, but you also don't get the location like here in Crestview. You also don't get primary bedrooms like this where they had put windows and tall ceilings everywhere. And I think you see that throughout this plan. You saw it at the grand entrance when you walk in through the front door. You saw it in the living room, and now you're seeing it here in the primary bedroom. And I like how that vibe continues here in this bedroom, which feels massive because of all the windows that open up to those mature trees as well as the pool in the backyard. Now, heading over to the primary bathroom, there are so many fun upgrades that they did in here. It's not just the kitchen that was upgraded. You got an enormous walk-in shower. You got a freestanding tub. I love how they ran the backsplash as a tile going all along that wall. It runs right into that walk-in shower, which is amazing. And then behind me, we're gonna see two vanities separated by the door, and they did sconces on either side of the mirror. And notice how this gold touches here in the shower head, in the handheld shower, as well as the hinges in this frameless glass shower. And that matches up so well with the sconces as well as the outline of the mirror. Take a look at that. That is where design really comes together and stands out as not only just a functional two-story plan, you know, it's a new build, but then they do these fun designs like that floating vanity right there and all the great parts of this primary bathroom. And for some people that say they don't want to compromise on being in an older home just to get the location, that's where I show them new builds. And right now there are a good amount of options like that in these neighborhoods like Crestview, because people have been betting on this area taking off for a while. Yes, the market is always in the news as, you know, Austin real estate market's up, then Austin real estate market is down, then it's up, then it's down. And that continues to happen because the news wants your eyes on the news. That's how they sell ads and that's how they make their money. And yes, the market does go up and down. I'm not denying that, but it's usually way more dramatic in the news than it actually is. The market, generally speaking, is kind of boring. It's if you look around at pricing, yes, the pandemic was probably like the least boring real estate market, where it was really far up and then it started to calm down. But generally speaking, the market doesn't move up and down like the stock market does, right? Real estate market's a little bit more stable. And what I've found is in these areas, the long-term growth of these areas feel definitive for a lot of people looking at building around here. A lot of developers, anybody who's looking at growth is telling you that that area between Austin's downtown area and the Domain area, which is about 10 miles north of downtown, anything in those central Austin neighborhoods is going to do well over time. And that's not me saying that, that's people making big wagers on that. I say big wagers, like some of these houses, they don't take just a month or two to build. They need the market to stay at a stable point to be able to build these homes and still do well. And that's why you see a good amount of new construction homes and tear downs around this area. Now, I do want to recognize that some people do have a negative feeling of some of those things, right? Gentrification is definitely a hot topic. A lot of people say, well, we don't want to lose the character or the culture of an area, and I completely understand that. You let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. I do see both sides. I'm not just trying to play in the middle. I will tell you that people that say, I don't want an area to take off, well, the 1950s homes, I've seen some of them that are dilapidated, they're not even livable. Those are really tough to hang around in an area, right? Wouldn't you want that remodeled? I get it. Then it gets remodeled and now a home's selling for a couple $1,000,000. Some people are against that, but the counter argument to that is why keep that 1950s dilapidated home, right? And so I've seen both sides of it, but you let me know what you think. I know it's a touchy subject regardless. But as we head outside here, I want to show you that is the one-car garage that we saw earlier around the kitchen. And then you have this separate carport area. There's a gate to get to the backyard, which is fantastic. And then there's still so much to see in this new build. I also want to show you, when I talk about the houses being unique, like take a look at some of these houses. Like these streets do not feel, it's like the opposite of cookie cutter. Everything is so unique, home by home. You never really know what you're gonna get. And I loved walking in here where I don't even know if I pointed to it, but I love this floating cabinetry here. And then this backsplash that they did, that they ran up to the ceiling. What a fun accent right at your entrance. I love how there's windows on either side of that front door. And then I gotta show this to you constantly because this is what my eyes are getting. We looked up when we walked in that front door, but I don't think you realize there are 3 windows bringing in so much natural light at the front entrance. Even with the sun behind the clouds at the time I'm recording this, there's still so much natural light coming in here in this entranceway, and you really feel it when you get upstairs. Take a look at this, fantastic. And this is the advantages of a 2-story plan. A lot of people tell me they relate to my wife and I's current circumstances. We have a 3 and a 1-year-old at home, and we love them. They do take over the game room, and for our friends in our neighborhood currently, some of them bought plans that didn't have a game room upstairs. It was just kind of like a hallway with 3 bedrooms. And what they told me is once they had their second kid, they had to move out right away. Their kids took over their living room, their kitchen. There's like toys around the kitchen island. And I completely understand where they're coming from. Having a dedicated game room on a second floor is fantastic. And then having a room like this that can double down as a study, as it's shown here, is great. I've also had people tell me when guests stay with them, they want a comfortable bedroom for them. And so one of the things that a bunch of my clients have done is put in a Murphy bed, or what's called a wall bed. So that kind of sits up there. And then anytime you have guests stay over, you just put that bed down, you move the desk to the side, and you have a study/bedroom. And that's what people have done to be around this area and still get all the other rooms that they want in their home. Let me know what you thought about that. I do feel, and I've talked to a closet company that does those wall beds. They do third-party closets as well. They'll do a garage build out. They'll pretty much put cabinets in these different locations that people use every day. Utility room's another one, but they've told me that they're doing a ton of wall beds now, and it's because of exactly what I just said. Austin, as it continues to grow, becomes very popular, which it has for the last 10 years. It's been one of the top cities, one of the fastest growing cities. Even though that's slowed down a little bit, there's still a lot of popularity around these different central Austin neighborhoods. And all that really means is you need to learn how to maximize the space that you have. And as of right now, maximizing space, one of the ways is that Murphy bed, wall bed. Another way is changing the garage. So I've seen a lot of remodels where they don't have a garage anymore. They use that as livable space. But I've found having at least like a 1-car garage, so you could, kind of like this home, so you can fit at least 1 car in there, is great to have. But that brings up other concerns that people might have, like security and the area. And obviously that's a street by street topic, I would say. Okay, moving on, we are in Crestview. I think I mentioned that many times earlier. And in this area, people tell me being sandwiched in between downtown Austin and the Domain area, which is the Domain area is just north of here, downtown south of here. And then this home is sandwiched in between two major roads that go north and south to the Domain and all the way down to downtown Austin. And that is Burnett and Lamar. Now, I've lived off Lamar for a while. That street has pretty much restaurants and shops everywhere. I think if you went to a restaurant every single day, a different one, I'm pretty sure on both of those roads, you wouldn't be able to get to every single restaurant in 1 year. Like, I'm pretty sure there's way more restaurants than I've been to, and it just feels like there's always something new coming up on those roads, and it still carries that Austin vibe. Like, people want to bike around here, they want to just walk to places, they want to be in a lively, active community, and I do think that that's what fits Crestview. For example, just next door to here, there is a treehouse, and I want to give privacy to the neighbors, but do you see what I mean? That treehouse there. I'm not surprised when I see a treehouse like that. There's like a punching bag hanging from it, and then there's like kids like I don't know, it's not a swing, but like kind of like a monkey bar hanging from that tree. And then as you look around here, just the houses, everything about this area screams the Austin vibe that I think so many people want to be around and are attracted to when they first travel to Austin, right? They don't want to live in the suburbs. They don't want, if people tell me if they're going to live in the suburbs, they'll just move to a different city. They'll move to Dallas. That's what people tell me. And what's funny is I've had my wife say the same thing. If they want to move, if they're going to move to Austin and live in Austin, they want to feel like they live in Austin. But if you are somebody that doesn't want to compromise on an older home, you want a new build that's open concept, well then let me know what you thought about this home. And if you need help, just reach out to me. Again, I'm not the realtor for you for this area, but I'm happy to connect you if you need help to anybody who can help you for your criteria. Hope that helps. Take care, everyone.